Welcome to this explainer. Right now, we are jumping straight into the grand finale of one of history's most intense multi-generational sagas, Genesis 50. This isn't just ancient history, it is a masterclass in navigating deep family trauma, global geopolitics, and the absolute ultimate test of forgiveness. So, how exactly do you wrap up one of history's greatest family dramas? Well, we're about to see how the text resolves decades of deep-seated trauma and betrayal, all while perfectly baiting the hook for what's coming next. The answers really lie in the specific actions taken by these figures at the very end of their lives.
Let's start with part 1, a grand Egyptian funeral.
Things kick off with the intimate passing of the patriarch Jacob. Joseph is absolutely heartbroken. He weeps, he kisses his father, but immediately after this intensely personal moment, you get this fascinating clash of cultures. Israelite tradition collides with Egyptian practice. Joseph actually commands his Egyptian physicians to embalm his father. Now, this wasn't a quick thing. It was a highly meticulous process that took exactly 40 days to complete. And here is where it gets wild. The entire nation of Egypt goes into mourning for him for a staggering 70 days. I mean, just picture that for a second. An entire foreign superpower essentially holding a prolonged, state-mandated mourning period for a shepherd from Canaan. It really shows you the absolute undeniable influence Joseph held over the Egyptian empire at this point. Moving right along to part 2, the journey to Canaan. Once that massive mourning period wraps up, Joseph gets Pharaoh's green light to fulfill a serious, solemn oath, burying his father back in Canaan. And the geopolitical scale of this road trip is just mind-blowing. The text calls it a very great company. We are not talking about a quiet family send-off here. This was essentially an ancient VIP motorcade. You've got Pharaoh's top officials, all the elders of Egypt, plus chariots and horsemen, the whole shebang. They literally left only their flocks and their little kids behind. When you look at the day-by-day of it, this journey was a massive logistical undertaking. This immense caravan leaves Egypt and travels all the way beyond Jordan to the threshing floor of Atad. And when they get there, they actually halt the entire procession for 7 full days. 7 days of a great and very sore lamentation before they finally lay Jacob to rest in the cave of Machpelah, which is the ancestral burial ground Abraham purchased generations ago. The sheer emotional weight and the size of this thing completely stumped the local inhabitants. The Canaanites were so blown away that they literally renamed the location to commemorate it. They called it Abel Mizrahim, which translates to a grievous mourning to the Egyptians. Think about that. This family's grief was so epic, it quite literally reshaped the map.
Which brings us to part 3, the ultimate forgiveness.
Okay, so the funeral's over, the family is back in Egypt, and suddenly a massive psychological crisis erupts among the brothers. With their dad gone, they are absolutely terrified. In their minds, Joseph's kindness was totally just an act, and now he is going to pay them back for all the evil they did to him all those decades ago. But Joseph's reality is completely different. He totally diffuses their panic with one profound question: "Fear not, for am I in the place of God?" But even before he says that, the brothers' desperation hits a fever pitch. They literally fall down in front of him and offer themselves up as slaves, declaring, "Behold, we be thy servants." And the tragic irony here is just heartbreaking. They're volunteering for the exact same fate they forced upon him as a kid. But instead of taking his revenge, Joseph just weeps. This is where Joseph totally shatters that cycle of revenge. He looks right at the brothers who sold him and says, "But as for you, ye thought evil against me, but God meant it unto good." I mean, wow. Talk about a masterclass in reframing trauma. He understands that all his horrific hardships were actually the necessary steps to save millions from starvation. He's not just forgiving them, he is finding the ultimate purpose in his pain. He actively breaks the generational trauma right then and there. Comforting them, he speaks kindly and promises, "I will nourish you and your little ones." After all those years, the family is finally, truly reconciled. And that brings us to the final act, part 4, a coffin in Egypt. So, the narrative fast forwards to the very end of Joseph's life. He lives to a ripe old age of 110, even getting to bounce his great-grandchildren on his knees. But knowing his time is up, he forces the children of Israel to swear a really pivotal oath, one that ties his actual physical remains to their future destiny. It's a two-parter. First, a prophecy. God will surely visit you and bring you out of this land. And second, a strict command. Ye shall carry up my bones from hence.
Just like his father, Joseph passes away and gets the full royal Egyptian treatment. He's embalmed, and his incredible journey, from a discarded teenage shepherd to the literal savior of the Egyptian empire, is officially complete.
But here's the thing. The text leaves us with this final, kind of ominous image, an unburied coffin resting in a foreign land. It specifically points out that he was put in a coffin in Egypt. There's no immediate road trip back to Canaan like there was for his father, just waiting. It's the ultimate cliffhanger. How long is that coffin going to sit there before that grand promise is finally fulfilled? Well, thank you for joining me for this explainer. Keep examining these sources and stay curious.